Hi guys, it's me and I'm here to make a video real quick. Actually, I say real quick, but I have a feeling this might be a little bit of a long one, so go to the bathroom or grab a drink because again, I don't know how long this is gonna be. So, as you guys know, I don't know, I find this kind of weird. I'm just gonna get this out right away. I find it kind of weird that I keep asking people if they have any questions for me in my videos and about the egg donation thing, and not a single person has come forward with a question. Not a single person. And I kind of thought, oh, okay, cool. Like I'm telling people what they want to hear, or not what they want to hear, but like I'm being informative enough, or I'm, giving enough information that people just don't have any questions. Great. Like I was kind of proud of myself. Like, awesome. I'm like covering all the bases. But then I come to find out that I guess there's a group of people talking about me who have concerns about me or for me, or I don't really know. Like, I would love to think, and I'm going to try to stay positive and think that they're concerned for my well-being, but at the same time, it's like if you're talking behind my back and you're not willing to ask me personally or to my, to my face, so to speak, it feels more of just like gossipy. Like it seems like you're not really concerned about me, but just like, I don't know. But again, I'm going to try to be positive and think that these people are just maybe too shy to ask me. But I don't know why people would be shy to ask me questions, because I feel like I'm a pretty open person and there's really like no holds bar when it comes to like the things that I'll answer or tell you. Like, I don't know. Like, as long as it's not regarding my daughter or her father, I'm pretty much an open book. But anyways, I got an email earlier today after I posted my egg donation, kind of like things that I wasn't expecting. And somebody, I'm not going to name who it is because I don't know, I'm just not going to name who it is. She sent me an email thanking me for my openness about everything, even the negative. And then she went on to say that our donation is a hot topic for fellow YouTubers. I did not know that. I'm not as involved as I used to be in the TTC YouTube community or even YouTube in general. You guys know I have 3 children. I'm trying to do this egg donation thing. I'm working, and then I'm babysitting people's kids, and I'm taking care of my house and just having a life myself. So I've become a lot less involved as I've become more busy, and I hate that, but that's kind of just being a parent. That's what happens. But so I guess I didn't know that this was a hot topic in the YouTube community. I guess this person didn't want to ask me these things publicly because they didn't want to encourage any negative comments. But you know what? I mean, every video that I make seems to encourage some negativity, so I don't know. What kind of gets me is she goes on to say, I thought you might want to know what people's concerns are. And I guess that just kind of threw me off guard. There are some pretty tough questions floating around, and I was wondering if you plan to address them. Again, that kind of catches me off guard because I've not seen any questions floating around me, and I'm the person who these concerns or questions are about, so it's just kind of funny to me that people just wouldn't ask me, and I wasn't aware that people were talking about me or their concerns about me. It's kind of like, why wouldn't you just ask me yourself? But, this person, wanted to ask me these questions or concerns. I don't know, I'm confused because she entitles them concerns, but most of them are all questions. But I guess it's confusing because it's like, why wouldn't these people just ask me themselves instead of talking about me? But, I guess that's the name of the game, right? It's YouTube. But, so yeah, I thought I would make this video and just address those concerns. The first concern, which I will go on to say that I have answered all of these things in one way, shape, or form on videos. Oh great, my iPad's acting up. So yeah, this will probably be the last time I address any type of question like these, because some of them I think are kind of, I don't want to say stupid, but it's just kind of like, for me, I get kind of frustrated when I see them because it's like they're questions that, like, if I hadn't thought about that already, I wouldn't be doing this, kind of. So this will be the only time I address these these questions or concerns. Okay, so the first concern is, how do you think you will feel once the baby is born? Will you be able to distance yourself? Okay, so I'm gonna treat this baby the same way I would treat any friend's baby. Like, I'm gonna send a gift, I'm gonna coo and ooh and google and goggle. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to distance myself as much as Lisa wants me to distance myself. I've already said this, like, Lisa and Bill have the reins here. After I sign those legal papers and after those eggs are out of my body and combined with Bill's sperm, those are theirs. Those are theirs to make babies with. And I will be as close or as far away as Lisa wants me to, because that's what you do for your best friend when she's having a baby. It doesn't matter how the baby's born or the genetics, like that's what you do. So if Lisa wants me near her because she needs moral support from a friend, I will be there. If she wants me miles and miles away, I will do that too. I don't really know what this question means. I feel like it's trying to prod at, like, will I, you know, be that clingy? Will I try to overtake her, you know, mom position? If that's what you're asking, no. I will, like I said, I will be there for Lisa because she's my best friend in whatever capacity that she wants. And that's pretty much that question. Concern 2. Again, these aren't concerns, guys. These are questions. If there's a question mark behind it, it's a question. Concern 2. Knowing that you struggle with depression, isn't John concerned that after the baby comes, you might have a harder struggle with it? Well, let me ask you guys this. If John were concerned about my mental state or depression, or if I was, do you think we'd be doing this? Like I said, I had to get the go-ahead from John because he's very much a part of this as much as I am. Well, maybe not as much, but you know what I mean. It affects him and our family. If I had all thought for one moment that my emotional state would be compromised, or that John's would, or that anyone's would in our family, I wouldn't have offered to donate my eggs. John and I talked about this for a year before we actually got to this point. We talked about it for months before even offering it to Lisa and Bill. So we went over all these questions. You know, my depression doesn't correlate with stuff like this. You know, I don't know if all of you know this, but I had a very, very traumatic miscarriage before Wyatt. It was very heartbreaking. And I didn't fall into a depression after that, after a loss of that, and I don't think I will after this, you know, and I don't know how to explain that, but my depression stems from my own self, who I am, not this. If I at all had any question in my mind thinking that I would get depressed after this, I wouldn't be doing this. And again, that's what the psych evaluation was for too, was for the psychologist to, you know, evaluate me to see if I was in a good mental state to do this. Also, in our clause, which I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but I guess I will, there is a portion that says if I need any counseling or help or whatever afterwards, Lisa and Bill agree to pay X amount for me to get that, you know? So I'm not concerned. And I think it's really weird that people who don't know me are concerned about that, when my husband's not concerned, my mother's not concerned, my dad's not concerned, my friends aren't concerned, people who truly know me aren't concerned. So that I think should say enough to, you know, how we're going to handle the situation. Concern 3. Because you and Lisa are friends and you will witness their parenting methods, which you may or may not agree with, do you think you'll be able to separate yourself and not feel judgmental? Well, let me ask you this. There are YouTubers out there who think that they can judge me left and right with my own kids and they have nothing to do with them. People are going to judge people's parenting no matter what. Whether they think it in their head or say it out loud, it's there. Even if you're not related or genetically related or even friends with the person or know them. You can't lie. You go to that store and you see a kid freaking out or doing something terrible or stealing something or hitting somebody, and you automatically think something in your head and you don't even know that person. So I can't promise that I'm not going to think something at some point like, oh, maybe they shouldn't be doing that, but it's none of my damn business. It's, you know, it's not my business. If Lisa comes to me and asks, hey, Kelly, how should I handle this situation in your honest opinion? Sure, I'll give that information to her, but will I sit here and be like, oh, Lisa, you should not be feeding her that or him that? I hope it's a her for her sake, because she really wants a girl. But, you know, I won't sit here and say, oh, don't put that many layers on because this or that. It's not my kid. It's none of my business. As a friend standpoint, yeah, sure, I'll be here if she wants some advice, but that's as far as that goes. So, no. And I got enough kids to parent, guys. I don't need to be worried about another parent's kids. 4, are you concerned at all? Are you concerned at all that this will negatively impact your friendship with Lisa in some way? Of course I am. I addressed this in my other video. I would be devastated if Lisa decided, you know, not to be friends with me. Not for the aspect of because I won't ever see the kid or kids. It's because I would lose Lisa and Bill, and they are so important to John and I, which is why if we had any doubt in our minds, and Lisa said the same thing, if we thought that this would negatively impact our relationship, we wouldn't be doing it. But at the same time, I understand that after a child is born, things change when you become a mom. Mama bear, protective. I get that. I'm a mama bear of 3. But I want them to have kids so badly, and she means so much to me that if it means losing her so that she can have, you know, her own kids and carry her own children, then I'm sure it's par for the course, you know, I'll do that. So yeah, I am a little scared that it's going to negatively affect us. Not in the way that I think maybe some of you guys are insinuating, like, are we going to start fighting or feeling, you know, I don't know, jealous of each other or anything like that, or competitive. I don't think it'll affect us that way because we're grown-ass women who love each other. But that sounded weird, but you know what I mean. But it, you know, in regards to like being terrified that maybe I'll lose her as a friend, of course I have that at the back of my mind. But again, I made this commitment to help them have kids, and that's my main goal, whether it means losing a friend or not, because I know that I will help my best friend have something that she couldn't unfortunately do by herself. So there you go. I don't know if that answered it the right way, but that's your answer you're gonna get. 5, how will you feel if the baby looks just like Wyatt or Kaya? Would that make the baby, giving up the baby, harder? First off, why'd you forget Ava? Second off, I'm not giving up a baby. I wish people would stop saying that. I'm giving up an egg. You know that thing that you ovulate once a month and usually pass during a period? That's what I'm giving up. I don't see myself as giving up a baby. And I know that probably, that probably bothers some people, that that's the way my mindset works. But again, when I was going through my very traumatic miscarriage, the only thing that got me through it was knowing that it wasn't a baby yet. That makes sense. You know, I had a blighted ovum. It couldn't develop correctly, and it didn't develop into a baby. You know, some people believe that a baby is immediately happens when the sperm hits the egg. I'm not here to discuss those things. I'm here to answer your question of how I'll feel about the baby. It's not, I don't feel the way that I think this person who asked this question thinks that, or this person feels. I don't feel like I'm giving up a baby by giving up eggs. I'm just giving them eggs that I have that I'm not using. When I FaceTime, hopefully, or see the baby after it's born, will it be hard if the baby looks like one of my kids? No. I mean, isn't that the whole reason I'm doing this, is to give my genetics to Lisa so that she can produce a baby? I mean, isn't that the whole point of all of this? Isn't that what, you know, is expected? You know, I'm expecting the kid to look like my kids, you know. I don't care, you know. Looks are just looks. I don't look a single thing like my parents at all, or my brothers, or my sister. I don't look a stitch like any of them. Sometimes I don't even look like my own kids. Sometimes they look exactly like their dads. So I don't really think that it's gonna make it hard, because I don't think that this is gonna be hard. I feel like, I know it's hard for you guys to understand because you're not in the position that Lisa and I are in, but we are being so open and honest about all this, and we care about each other so much and want the same thing as a goal for this, that I feel like you guys want this to be hard for us. I feel like YouTube as a community, or even just the reality TV, is supposed to be dramatic or have some type of like, oh, I can't believe she did that or said that. And this is just me and Lisa's life. We're not full of drama. And I've said this in previous videos too, like, I'm sorry if people are watching me to like look, you know, to see me cry or to see me upset or to see me this, but like, I don't like those things. Lisa and I don't like fighting. We don't like, you know, being untruthful to each other. We're just normal human being, adult women that just, I don't know, we just get along. You know, I think if you're open and you communicate and you're honest, it's just easy to get along. And so I feel like some of these questions, and this is what kind of irks me, and again, I'm not trying to be negative, and I understand people are curious, but I feel like some of these questions are trying to lean towards like getting me to admit that like something's wrong, or that something's gonna go wrong, or that I feel an ill way about this at all. And I don't, and neither does Lisa, and neither does Bill, and neither does John. Like, we're just, I'm gonna say we're a family already, because I feel like Lisa's like my sister. She's Auntie Lisa to my kids, you know? we're just helping build a family, you know? So I don't know. If you're looking for some type of like dramatic, you're not going to get that here. And I'm sorry. I mean, you might get the drama of something not working in regards to the physical aspect, you know, me not producing eggs or Lisa not getting pregnant, which I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm willing it not to happen. I mean, you might get that, but in regards to me and Lisa becoming a cat fight or whatever it is people are looking for or expecting, it's not going to happen. We're just better than that. I mean, I know that sounds big-headed, but I think a better person would choose to not fight or to not put themselves in that situation, if that makes sense. We're just friends, you know? So there doesn't have to be drama in friendships. There really doesn't. Okay, 6. Have you taken into consideration that your and Lisa's friendship could dissolve for whatever reason you will lose access to the baby? First off, again, I am scared of losing Lisa, but not the baby, because the baby's not mine, you know, like, I don't know. I don't really even see my nieces that much. As you guys know, like, they live in a different state, so it's not always that easy to see them. So, I mean, I hate that term, access to the baby. Again, we filled out a lot of legal stuff. Like, I'm not granted any access to this baby, you know, like once these eggs are out of me and they're combined with Bill's sperm, that's it. They're not mine anymore to choose anything for. I don't expect access to this baby. I just want access to Lisa. You know, if she wants to be my friend, that's awesome. If she doesn't, then you know what? Again, like that, if we make a baby out of it, then that's fine. So, I mean, I'm scared to lose Lisa. I'm not scared to lose the baby because the baby's not mine to be scared about losing. Does that make sense? I mean, yeah, it would kind of suck if I couldn't like ever see the baby, but again, it would be like losing just a friend, you know? Like, I don't know. I think you guys are trying to like ask if I'm going to be like upset if like my own child being taken away from me. No, I'm not, you know? I'm just not. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just not. Concern 7. Are you concerned that once the baby comes that Lisa will distance herself from you? Broken record. Again, yes, that is a concern, and I do think that she will probably distance a little bit. I don't know though. I can't speak for Lisa. Maybe this question for me should be for Lisa. Lisa, are you going to distance yourself from me? Again, it's up to her. Like I said, she's my best friend. I'll be here in whatever capacity she needs. If she needs a few months to be like, I need to bond with this baby, then great. Bond with your baby. You know, I bonded with my baby for months before I allowed people to really be around. So if she needs time, then that's fine. Take that time. I'll just be here waiting for whenever she wants to, I don't know, me to be around. So, yeah. Question, and then we go into questions. Question, do you plan to be in the delivery room? This is funny you guys should ask that because when John and I were conversing about offering my eggs to Lisa, that's one of the first questions John asked. John was like, would you want to be in the delivery room? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's not really up to me if I'm in the delivery room or not. So I didn't really think much of it. And then somebody else asked this question to Lisa. And so actually Lisa and I just talked about this yesterday. And I don't know. I mean, I think she thought it would be a neat idea. For me, I've had 3 children, so I know what a special moment that is and what it means to like just share it with somebody. Like Ava, I had like 13 people in the delivery room, and I regret that to this day. I kind of, I was 17 or 18 when I had her, like physically, and her dad's family was there, and I wanted them out, but didn't feel like I was allowed to tell them to leave. I mean, even his like brother's ex-girlfriend was in there. Like I just, but I was 18. I didn't know that I was allowed to ask them to leave. My whole family was there. There were 3 nurses and my doctor. I was basically just like, it was a reality TV show, basically. Everybody saw my hoo-ha. But, that was, I feel like one of my mistakes that I made in that delivery was I wish I would have had kind of more intimate time having her. So with Wyatt, we didn't allow anybody in the delivery room except for my mom and John, and it was just so special just to be, the 2 people I care the most about in the world. And then with Kaya, again, it was just my mom and John, but then I also, of course, welcomed you guys in through camera. So, I've had all 3 experiences, and I know how special of a moment it is. So what I told Lisa was, if you want me in the delivery room, great. But I really suggest just it being you and Bill, or you and Bill and your mom. Something just really special for you guys and for you to just take that time to just relish in your baby together, And, if they want to FaceTime me right after, awesome. If, they want me to fly out a week later, awesome. you know, if she really wants me there, again, as her best friend, if she wants, well, sorry, I'm assuming I'm her best friend. Look at me doing that. Her being my best friend, if she wants me in the delivery room, you know, holding one of her legs, whatever, getting her ice or holding her vomit bag, sure, I will be there if she wants me to be. But again, I don't expect to be, and I wouldn't expect to be as the egg donor. I would be there because she wants me there as her friend. So, yeah. Last question. How are you going to explain to the children about the baby? I don't know. You know, I really don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I said in Lisa's video, nobody really explained to me when I was growing up that I was adopted. I just kind of knew because obviously I didn't look like the rest of my family. They were white and I was quite Asian. Nobody really had to just flat out tell me, oh, hey, you're adopted. I just always knew, and that was normal for me. So it wasn't weird. You know, it was weird to everybody else around us, but it wasn't weird to me because that's all I knew my whole life. When I had Ava, my biggest goal was, you know, I knew that me and her dad weren't going to work out. Like, we weren't working out even before she was born. So I knew that was going to happen. So I knew because I didn't have a future with him in a relationship, I didn't want to ever have Ava know that, like, not know, but experience us together, because I think it's far worse to raise a kid in a home where the two are together and then break up than just be apart and that only be what they know. So like Ava, she, you know, going back and forth to her dad's house to my house, that's normal for her. She doesn't, I don't think, feel any loss. I mean, we've talked about it a lot openly because that's all she knows. That's her life. That's all she knows. So I guess for like explanation to my kids, oh, and that's another thing, that she comes in and out of Wyatt and Kaya's lives and they don't know any better. They don't know anything but the arrangement that we have, and that's normal and it doesn't bother them. So I guess for like explaining to my kids of what's going on, or like, you know, why their honorary cousins or special cousins, you know, look kind of like them, but they're Lisa and Bill's, you know, I am just gonna let it just be what it is, which is, this is what's happening, this is what's normal for us, and that's all they'll know. They, you know, like I said, kids aren't born hating people because of the way they look or hating themselves because of the way they look. They're taught that. They're taught that someone looks different, so that must be bad. They're taught that, you know, people's relationships, because they're not normal, they're wrong. They're taught hate and bigotry and racism, and they're taught, that's a taught thing. That's not a genetically inherited thing. So if I only teach my kids that this is what's the norm, you know, of having this type of situation, then they're gonna be okay. They're gonna know that this is normal and that's what works for this family. So I'm not gonna, I mean, maybe eventually if they have questions, I'll sit them down and have an open conversation, but I don't really, they're too young to even need to know any details. They know that Auntie Lisa's getting mommy's eggs. They don't know exactly what that means though, and should they? They're not even 2 and 4 yet. Ava knows. She actually, it's so amazing how kids' brains work. They know so much more than you give them credit for. I had this conversation with Ava. You know, I asked, I said, so do you know why mommy was in Chicago? And she goes, yeah, you were going to give Auntie Lisa your eggs. And I said, no, not yet. I was going for testing. I said, do you know what that means? And she goes, yeah, you're giving Auntie Lisa your eggs so that she can have her own baby. She didn't say so she can have your baby. She said so she can have her own baby. And that's what I mean. As adults, you're constantly questioning, okay, what are you going to do, you know, about your baby? But that's because that's what you're taught to think, is that it's your baby. Whereas Ava just off the bat knew, you know, so that she can have her own baby with your eggs. So, you know, kids are just, they're just amazing. I think they'll be fine. Ava's fine. I even asked her, I said, so do you know what they'll be to us, you know, to you? And she goes, well, maybe cousins, you know. She didn't say stepsister, brother, nothing like that. You know, they just get it. You know, if they're not taught to not understand something, they just automatically understand what's going on, you know. So that's just kind of how I'm going to handle that. And yeah, that was the last question. I don't know. This person also said that they hope that it didn't give me any stress or anything, but all of that. And I'm not stressed out. I just, like I said, I just wish people would ask me these things themselves. You know, I've asked numerous times if anybody has any questions. And you know, if you came to me and just asked me these questions, it would feel different than, you know, having a group of people talking about me behind my back, because then it just doesn't feel right, if that makes sense. It just feels kind of like people are doubting me and what I'm doing. And again, if I had any doubts, I wouldn't be doing this. I think if any of my family members who knew me and loved me had any doubts, they wouldn't let me be doing this. You know, after my mom knows me, John knows me. They know me so well, almost better than I know myself sometimes. And it's funny because after Lisa and Bill had their first failed IVF and they found out about their diminished egg thing, I brought it up to John, like, how about I donate my eggs? And he's like, well, you do make, you know, you do well making babies. In other words, my eggs are good. And then when I went to my mom's house to tell her the news, because she asked, she goes, why don't you just give her some of your eggs? You know, like, I guess for us and our family, because again, I'm adopted, my sister's adopted, my brothers are biological to my parents, you know, Ava's in a split family household. I guess this is just the norm to us. You know, it's not that big of, I know I shouldn't say it, it is a big deal, but it's not the big deal that certain people are trying to make it, I guess, you know, for us. You know, I always say, just because it's something that you can't do or imagine yourself doing doesn't mean that somebody else can't do it and do it well. I understand that for a lot of you who are asking these questions, like, you could never see yourself giving away your child, or you could never see or handle seeing somebody else have a child that looks like yours. I understand that, and that's totally fine. I would never expect anybody to feel like they could handle that. But I myself, just because you can't, doesn't mean that I can't. And I know me, my parents know me, my husband knows me, my kids know me, Lisa and Bill know me. I'm fine. It'll be okay. And I really appreciate people's concerns or questions or whatever you want to word them. I appreciate that you have, hopefully, for good intentioned concerns for me. But I promise you, you don't, I mean, if you want to be concerned about how this next month's going to go and my sanity and my health and pain tolerance. But don't be concerned about this kind of stuff because, again, I'm a grown adult. You know, you guys, not everyone maybe thinks that I'm very smart or, you know, intelligent, but I feel like I am, and I feel like I've come to an intelligent decision about this, and I've thought this thoroughly through. So, again, I appreciate the concerns or questions that you had, and again, please feel free to leave them on my Facebook or message me yourself. Like, you don't need to go through another person. I really am quite an open book, like you know. So, yeah, I will talk to you guys all in my next video, and